The Spurs take on the Lakers tonight in Los Angeles, and the Spurs are getting used to something that they haven't felt in a while, and that is being targets.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is going on, Spurs fans? Welcome back to Locked On Spurs. You're in the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Kens 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you all back. Hope you're having a great day. And as always, thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Free and available wherever you get podcasts. Here's what to do. Subscribe right now over at iTunes, Spotify, Kens 5 Plus app, YouTube. What is that? Just subscribe. Become an everydayer. And if you are an everydayer, keep on being the everydayer that you are. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started ASAP. What are we talking about today? Yeah, we're going to look at tonight's game, Spurs-Lakers. Can the Spurs rebound from that ugly loss in Phoenix? Hopefully they can. We're going to break that down, look at some stats, and then talk about something that Steph Castle brought up after the loss versus Phoenix, is that he's seeing that, hey, we're kind of targets now. When's the last time you heard that, Spurs fans? Your silver and black are targets? Yeah, so we're going to react to that, why he thinks the team is being targets, and this is the next step, or a step, in the evolution of this Spurs team to become one of the best in the NBA. And then the latest on Dylan Harper's injury. The Spurs officially announced what happened. We're going to talk about that in just a few seconds. We're going to bring in our guest. He is back, everybody, Mr. Devin Brown, my teammate here at the Locked On Spurs family. He co-host of the Locked On Spurs Postcast. You can find every game, including tonight. Catch him and Casey tonight after the Lakers game. And are the fans taking it easy on you, Devin? Are they taking it easy on you? They're not giving you too much, you know what?
I don't read the comments. I'm not sure. Hey, I come on, I give you my spiel, and I leave it at that. I got other things going on. Yep.
All right. By the way, everybody, you hear that? He got a freaking mic, everybody. Applause to Devin. Yeah. Applause to Devin. Way to go.
Yeah. Took it real good, but we're getting used to everything, Jeff. So I'm good. I'm glad you can hear me.
I'm glad you are. I'm glad you're back and you get the mic. You're good to go. And we're ready to rock and roll. Let's go ahead and find out how you can follow Devin on social media. You see it on your screen right now. Follow him on X at DevinBrown933. Again, former champion with the San Antonio Spurs. You know, I'm a UTSA lore, all that good stuff. Again, Devin Brown, my teammate here at Locked On Spurs. All right, Devin, let's go ahead and dive into it. The Spurs take on the Lakers tonight in Los Angeles. They got a rebound from an ugly loss to Phoenix. Before we get into some numbers, compare these two teams. How do you think this team will respond after getting their butts kicked in Phoenix?
Well, you know, that's part of what comes along with it. I'm pretty sure Coach Mitch had a conversation with Pop. But Mitch is, you know, he's been around the game long enough to understand that something like this was going to happen. So now you got to bounce back, and you got a good Lakers team. They sat everybody out playing Portland. So they're going to be ready to go, and it's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think this is going to be a really good test for the Spurs in the sense of how they rebound from a loss, their mettle being tested, their psyche being tested. Steph Castle, you know, he had this to say after the game. Let's see if I can bring it up here. He said he actually liked the loss versus the Suns, and he mentioned in so many ways the game tonight versus Los Angeles. I'm going to put it on your screen here. He says, quote, I feel like we kind of needed this. I feel like we were starting to get a little bit comfortable. So this is kind of a wake-up call for us. So do you think, you know, Devin, you and I were pretty much like the only ones here, the Locked On Spurs team, to say, like, we need this team to be tested. We need this team to, take a bump on the road because they need to grow. You're only going to figure out how to get better is by sometimes, you know, falling on your face. And they did. Of course, Spurs fans, Locked On Spurs fans were coming at me. I'm pretty sure they were leaving comments to you saying, what are you talking about? No, they got to go and defeat it. But this is reality, isn't it? Steph Castle accepted it. How, when you, as a former player with the Spurs in the NBA, when you see a player acknowledge that, yeah, we needed this wake-up call, why is that so crucial?
Well, I mean, because it was such a good win against Miami and the way they finished that game. Yeah. So I think that what Castle was saying is that half the locker room maybe it was a little unsettling for him on the plane. He didn't like, what was going on. So they just kind of like, strolled into Phoenix, and I knew that was a trap game in the sense that, when I saw Phoenix, the first 2 or 3 possessions, I'm sitting here going, oh, now Phoenix, they got Devin Booker, but that's it. But then those guys got rolling, and you can see where, the Spurs are trying to play catch up all day. Not only that, but Wemby struggled. Well, they were against it all day. They didn't come out up top, and it was a tough loss. But now you're going to see the resilience of the Spurs and how they answer that, because this can be big, Jeff, towards after the All-Star break, when we really start getting geared up and really start seeing what they do. If they can come back, somehow have a great game, beat the Lakers, say, by plus 15, plus 20, something in that deal, we'll look at it later on the season and we'll go, nah, this team will be ready.
Yeah, I saw with the Lakers now, as you mentioned right now, Devin, they rested some of their big guns in their previous game, getting ready for tonight versus San Antonio. So look at the tail of the tape here. It's going to bring it on your screen, everybody. There we go. All right, Devin, I'm going to see if I can get us in here. All right, there we go. We got us in here. So okay. There it is. Tail of the tape right there. Season comparisons right there. It's still a a small sample size. Nevertheless, look at that opponent points per game. Spurs tops in the NBA. Number 2, holding teams 108.2 points per game as of this recording. Again, if defense is going to win games, the Spurs are going to have to play defense tonight. They cannot play Matador defense we saw against Phoenix Suns. Look at that. Opponent's points per game, 2nd in the NBA. Opponent field goal percentage, 4th. But my concern is opponent 3-point field goal percentage. Dead.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. It's around 35.
Yeah. All right, you're looking at the tail of the tape.
I'm looking. Now I see it. Okay, I got you. I got you. So there's a couple of things that stand out to me as far as what you were talking about earlier, and that's the assist per game.
Oh, yeah.
Spurs 24. Ooh. The Lakers are at 27. Obviously, that's
they're 12th in the league. Yeah, that's how big the average. Yeah,
Austin Reeves. So, this is a good early season matchup because Luka, his history versus San Antonio. So you're gonna have to keep him under control. Austin Reeves playing at a high level right now, but man, the other night when the Lakers played Portland, it was the role players down the stretch. Nick Smith Jr., you got to keep an eye on him. He had 25 the other night. So what I can say is it's really, you give the Lakers credit, and the Spurs will do that. But at the end of the day, you got to get back to playing San Antonio basketball like you did the first 5 games.
Yeah, exactly. We saw Phoenix just light them up from the 3 line in the previous game, and that could be an issue if the Lakers can exploit that. Other interesting notes here we've taken off from the tail of the tape here is you overall look at that free throw percentage, though. Again, dead last. The little things could come to bite them in the butt, and it could be an issue. Whatever, it's a close game, and it comes down to a free throw contest. Spurs 28th in the NBA, Lakers are 13th. Your thoughts?
Well, I want to say this, it's kind of frustrating when you're watching San Antonio, or I'm going to say the NBA in general, because when the ball goes in the post, back when I was playing, I can go on and on about all the guys that would catch it in the post, and you have to pay attention to those guys because those guys were threats. And this point is going to what you were saying about the 3-point line, and how I don't get people aren't running off people off the line a lot more than they are, because the matchup tonight's going to be DeAndre Ayton against Wemby. I'm comfortable leaving Wemby down there by himself against him. So I don't want the guards over rotating, or we're rotating for no reason, and now the Lakers are popping threes all night. So it's what you're saying. It's the attention to detail that I think Coach Mitch is going to really preach in the locker room.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the Spurs can't exploit the Lakers as far as turnovers. The Lakers are 25th in the NBA. In other words, a bad spot to be, coughing the ball up 17 times. That's 17 second chance opportunity the Spurs potentially could have tonight. Got to capitalize on that. And obviously, we were ignoring the big elephant in the room, and that is Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up his career stats versus the Spurs. Brace yourself, Spurs fans. In Luka Doncic's career against San Antonio, dating from he was at Dallas till now, 28.3 points per game, 9.5 assists, 8.7 rebounds, and 23 career games versus the Spurs. That's a near triple-double. Look, Luka goes the business to everybody, but with Harper out, they're down a man. Oh, man. Is Steph Castle the guy? Is he getting that tough assignment tonight?
He's going to be one of the guys. He's going to be one of the guys. I mean, you can throw – there's about 6 or 7 players you can throw at him on the Spurs roster right now that you feel comfortable with, just trying to keep him at bay. Because, I watched Luka a lot, and yes, he's very good at knocking down shots, but he's one of those type of players where he's going to always give himself a chance. He may miss 2 or 3 in a row, but he's going to keep firing. And then what he does is he'll mix in getting other people involved, and it seems like if another guy knocks a shot down, it gets him in rhythm. It's the craziest thing. So you got to answer your question. You got about 6 or 7 guys you can run at him to start off with. I feel comfortable with Castle guarding him. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. He'll likely get the primary guy, to attack and to try to slow down Luka. But again, even though Luka's putting up those numbers, Luka gives every team the business. So it's not just the Spurs. He's an all-star for a reason, and the numbers just prove it. All in all, it should be a good game. You took a page out of my notes here. You mentioned Wemby and Ayton. I'm looking at that as well. Ayton, is a big dude. We saw what Phoenix did to Wemby. I wonder if the Mavericks, at least Luka being the Mavs, but if the Lakers will do the same thing. Quickly before we hit the break, though, what Phoenix and to a certain extent Miami did versus Wemby, and I'm sure you saw the video already. It's floating out there on social media, Devin, but especially Phoenix, they bodied up Wemby and before he even caught the ball. So they made every entry pass to him difficult. And when the ball was still in the air en route to his hands, they sent another guy to swarm him. And the moment he put that ball down, they're trying to pick it. And it frustrated Wemby. You saw him turn the ball over. You saw him throw some errant passes out. Whew. I hope they haven't figured Wemby out to try to slow him down, but are you expecting a bounce-back game from Wemby tonight?
Hey, it's L.A. They get out there. They've been, out in L.A. for a couple of days. Great weather. I don't know if any of the guys play golf, but anyway, my point is it's a time to refresh. Pop would use that as he's like, get away from basketball, do something else, and we'll get ready for the Lakers when we had our time there. So, I expect great numbers from Wemby, and let's dive into a little bit of what you're saying. So, obviously, when one team has success against a great player like Wemby, yes, the NBA takes knowledge of that. They'll watch tape. They'll watch the Miami game. They'll watch Phoenix. And if that's what it takes to body him up, get it out of his hands, the other guy's got to be able to step up. But I mentioned this after the game the other night. When he throws it out, he's got to do a better job of resealing. And when he catches it that second time, you got to attack quick. Don't look to make that pass out. Yeah.
We don't have the injury report as of this recording, but I don't know if Fox will return tonight versus the Lakers. There's been some scuttlebutt about maybe it'll be Los Angeles, even before the Harper injury. So if he does come back tonight, that'll definitely help out the Spurs, especially we saw them going in an offensive drought versus Phoenix. But we shall see. Otherwise, should be a great game. It's going to be a late start, everybody. Get your coffee ready. So heads up on that, especially in San Antonio. So stay up late. Hopefully the Spurs will make it worth you staying up late, losing some sleep with a W at the end of the night. He is Devin Brown, my teammate here under the Locked On Spurs family. He co-hosts the Locked On Spurs Postcast. So every night there's a game like tonight. You can make sure him and Casey are on the case, working hard for you, recapping the game. More on that later. Coming up next, are they targets now? Steph Castle believes they are. We'll talk about the Spurs being targets this season. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of a game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into the same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps everything exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Hey, Spurs season is underway. Might as well jump on the action over at FanDuel. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first 5 bet wins. So, head to FanDuel.com. Sign up right now. Play your game at FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Let's be real, making excuses won't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress, I'm tired, or it happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support. That's where Rougiette comes in. Rougiette.com offers fast-acting doctor-prescribed treatment for ED designed to help you stop making excuses for and start making moves. If prescribed, your treatment ships directly to your doctor. You just connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online. No awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. The process is fast, simple, private, and it's all handled by real doctors. It's about confidence, connection, and getting back to the moments that matter. Visit rugiet.com/LockedOnNBA to get 15% off your first order. Rougier makes it to get started. That's rugiet.com/LockedOnNBA. And don't forget to use our code LockedOnNBA so they know that we sent you. Rougiet, stop making excuses, start making moves. And we're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Devin Brown. He is my teammate here on Locked On Spurs family, co-host of the Locked On Spurs post-game podcast. You can check it out on YouTube, or just basically right here. You're on Locked On Spurs already. So you just go up to that tab. By the way, Devin, people have been asking me, well, how do I find them? I don't see them. They're under the live tab, everybody, because they go live. So when you're in the Locked On Spurs YouTube page, click the live tab, and that's where you see Devin and Casey breaking down every game as soon as the final buzzer sounds off. All right, Devin. Castle brought up something in that loss to Phoenix. He said, hey, we're kind of noticing that we're targets now. We're noticing that teams are bringing their A game. And he did admit a large part is it because of Wemby, but nevertheless, is this team now seemingly becoming a target now? And I bring this up to you because you were on teams where they had a big old target on y'all's back when you had Timmy and Manu and the rest of the crew winning titles. Talk to us about that, Devin. Castle's starting to see a little bit of that right now. You lived it, and we're at the peak of the Spurs powers in the TD era. How does a young team adjust to becoming a target team for opponents?
Well, you know, everything on the foundational side of what you're saying is true, but we were more of a veteran team, and so I don't think that's fair for the young guys. I mean, you're talking a ton of experience. I can go on down the line with some of the veterans that were there, and you know, Pop's going to say what Pop's going to say, but we had so many veteran, you know, leaders in the locker room that you know we could take care of it, you know, ourselves, you know, so to speak. But you know, this young team, it's good. You know, everybody knows San Antonio, what they've done for years and years, and you know, to get this thing back, you know, there were some teams that came in here in years past and got their revenge, and you know, it was becoming too easy coming in San Antonio, winning all the time. So to be relevant again, they should embrace it. All right, because there's a great history in front of them, and when you got a guy like you know Wemby, Castle, Vassell, Keldon, you know, you got a great foundation of guys that can go out there and get this thing done. Like I said, San Antonio goes 5-0. We're thinking we're going to the finals. They lose one game. Feel like the ceiling's caving in. So here's our chance for San Antonio to respond against a nationally televised game. And the stars are going to be out. I keep saying that they're going to be out there in LA. So what a great time to bounce back.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad that this team is being a target now because say what you will, I'm pretty sure they're out of the rebuilding phase. They're out of it, everybody. They're done. This is the team they're going to be going to war with for the most part. They can keep it intact moving forward. And for them to get the taste of what it is to be in sight, in an opponent's, aim, I think is good for them because it's going to force them to learn lessons early like they did versus Phoenix and bring their A game as well, and realize that Wemby cannot do it all. Yes, they got weapons on this team. Fox should be back soon. Keldon's been playing great. Vassell's been playing great. Castle definitely has been playing great. But they're going to learn that it's going to take a collective, even though they got that primary weapon, number one in silver and black. Ultimately, he cannot do it alone. They need to step up every game. And look, it's a grind, 82 games, back-to-back nights, travel. I mean, Devin, you played during the era where were you still there when they did like the 3 games and 4 nights crap, that kind of stuff, where it was just
means and 5 nights. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're going to understand that. And you got young guys, have a guy like Harper. Well, we'll more on him later, but just younger guys that never been used to that kind of a grind. Here it is. So, yeah. You start off 5-0, you bet you're going to get the team's opposing's best shot. And they saw that versus Phoenix. I mean, our colleague over there, Locked On Suns, they were celebrating as if they won a title beating the Spurs. I'm not kidding. They were go look at Locked On Suns post-game chat about that.
Yeah.
They were celebrating as if like, oh my God, we defeated the mighty Spurs and Wemby. It's been a long time since the Spurs fan base has done that or experienced that. And they're getting, the young guys are getting that taste of it now. Is being a target, and I understand you said you were playing in the Spurs era where it was loaded with veterans, but you were a young guy at that time. Mm-hmm. How do you adjust seeing other teams coming at your silver and black squads during that time? And how was that for you as a young player?
Well, we definitely had our rivals, teams like a Jerry Sloan, Utah, and some other teams that they would lock it on. They wouldn't even, I had friends on those teams. They wouldn't even say hi to me because they were so geared in for that game. And so when you are target, listen, you just got to go out there. You got to do what you do. All right. Let's get the ball to number 21, and we're going to play off of that. Knock shots down and live with the results.
Yeah. Yeah. And the same thing the Spurs are going to do too with Wemby. They're going to try to give him his touches. But again, if it doesn't fall, as Devin, you mentioned, other guys have to step up, and that will take away that target right away off their back.
Right away. That's why you have 13, 14 guys or whatever they're carrying these days. Hey, somebody's got to make a shot out there.
Somebody got to make a shot out there. But, again, this is just part of the evolution of a young squad. Mm-hmm. They got the horses on the roster now. They got the firepower on both ends of the court. Now they're going to comes, the ripple effects of that is being a target. And this is something we're going to keep an eye on as the season moves forward. He is Devin Brown, my teammate here at the Locked On Spurs family, co-host of the Locked On Spurs post-game chats on podcast. Again, find it on the live tab, everybody. So like tonight, when Devin and Casey are on, just go to the live tab, click it there, and then rock and roll, see their reaction to what hopefully will be a Spurs win tonight in Los Angeles. All right, coming up next, the latest on Dylan Harper and his injury. Let's be real, no one starts a business for the joy of calculating tax withholdings or managing payroll spreadsheets. That's where Gusto comes in to take the stress out of payroll benefits and HR so you can focus on running your business and supporting your team. Gusto is the all-in-one remote-friendly payroll and HR platform that makes managing your team simple, transparent, and fast. Whether you're hiring, onboarding, or paying employees, Gusto helps you do it all from one place without the hassle or hidden fees. Unlimited payrolls for one monthly price, which means no surprise charges at the end of the month. Gusto's automated tools like offer letters, onboarding materials, and direct deposits save you hours every week. And knowing you can be reached certified HR experts at any time gives you real peace of mind. Yeah, you can reach them ASAP. Try Gusto today at gusto.com/LockedOnNBA and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's right, 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/LockedOnNBA. One more time, that's gusto.com/LockedOnNBA.
This is Emilio Rivera, the Padrino for the Mayans MC. You are listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
We're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Devin Brown. Make sure to follow him on X at Devin Brown 933. He is my teammate here at the Locked On Spurs family, co-host of the Locked On Spurs post-game podcast. Again, find it under the live tab tonight as Devin and Casey Vieira will be breaking down tonight's win or loss. Hopefully a win. Hey, Devin, by the way, before we talk about the latest with Harper's injury. I want to bring this to your attention, man. Tell me what this means to you when you see this. Look at that. Who's that skying up for that? Who's that, buddy?
Hey, all that means is it was 2 extra points in transition. Pop wanted us to get out and run New Jersey that day, and that's all I was doing.
You still got those hops, man?
No, if I tried that, I'd ruin my golf swing. So no, I don't even try that.
Man, look at you, man. But you're still yoked like that, right? You're still swole. You got.
I still swole. Yes, yeah.
You go. See, that doesn't go away. All right. Let's go and talk about the latest with Dylan Harper and his injury. Now, y'all know by now, he suffered a calf injury versus Phoenix in the first half. He did not play the rest of the game, but he was in a boot for the rest of the game. And the Spurs didn't give a timeline when he'll come back, but there are rumblings out there that could be several weeks. So that's kind of the quick and dirty of it. For a young guy, Dylan Harper, to see his season get stalled. We don't know if it's done, but it gets stalled. And considering he played so well out of the gates, what do you tell a young guy like that who just sees his pro career just put on pause right now?
Well, you tell them, hey, as a trainer, you tell them, hey, you know your game. All right. Yeah. You're not a 1 to 2 dribble, player. He's a high volume dribbling player. When he gets to his moves and in his bag, it's 4 or 5 dribbles. Well, you can't, your legs have got to be there underneath you to play his style of game. So you sit him down, you say, hey, listen, we got to make sure that your foundation's good in order for you to be effective as a basketball player. Right now, he's way too young for him to be trying to change his game. Where he really helps the Spurs is attacking that rim, getting deep in the paint, and getting others involved and finishing himself. So if you're the Spurs, you look at it, well, okay, Fox should be back soon. McLaughlin's not playing bad. He's a very solid player. So even if both of these guys are out for now, you got a good fill-in guy there. But once De'Aaron gets back, the Spurs offense is going to speed up. So now you really need Harper to get healthy. So, you just tell him, hey, listen, man, this is just going to be one of the deals. Let's get you healthy, and we'll get you back on the court as soon as we can. Yeah,
exactly. And look, this is where a lot of riches at the guard spot comes in handy for the Spurs. Sure, you don't like seeing Harper leave the game injured and, of course, now on the shelf for a while. But look, as Devin, you mentioned, they'll get Fox either. We don't know if tonight. Get it. We're recording this before the game. So could be tonight, if not soon thereafter. But if you're the Spurs, you're like, oh, no, not De'Aaron Fox and Steph Castle and a solid player like Jordan McLaughlin backing them up. Not that. And let's not forget, maybe not primarily, but Devin Vassell, he can get the ball up the court if needed. He can do that. If Sohan doesn't want to have PTSD, they can be like, hey, Sohan, can you do for real quick? But outside of that, we got David Jones, Garcia. I mean, the list goes on and on. So they'll be perfectly fine at that guard spot moving forward about Harper. But you want him back ASAP because he's just been playing so well. What has stood out for you for young Harper pre-injury? What did you like about his game? Again, we don't know if he's going to be out for the season. So we're just saying for now, what did you like?
He's fearless.
Yeah.
Fearless. He absolutely, it took him maybe, the very first game he missed his first 2 or 3 shots. And then after that, when one went, now he turned it on and he said, you know what? I've been playing basketball my whole life. Yeah. This is what it's about. And you saw that. And it went game after game after game where he was up there to 21 against one of the teams. But for 2 or 3 games, he was right around that 12 to 15 range. Right. And, that's primarily probably where you want him. And then once he develops that outside shot, now you're going to be looking at, between, maybe 20 and 25. So just an outstanding young player who's just fearless. And he's not going to back down for anybody because his DNA. That's one thing about the game of basketball and sports in general is that DNA is not going to lie to you.
Absolutely. 14 points per game through 6 games played before the injury. 4 rebounds, nearly 4 assists, 3.8 assists, shooting 36% from the 3 line and 50% from the field. Again, just an effective rookie. Hopefully he is not out too long because the Spurs can definitely use him as a weapon moving forward. And look, the Spurs are going to spur. Devin, you lived it. Devin, I'm pretty sure you had a dry skin one day and they go, oh, no, you're out for 3 weeks. You're something ridiculous, but that's how much they care about players.
Right.
They want to make sure they're 100% healthy. You experienced that, Devin. What was like, with the Spurs knowing that, hey, and if, for example, if Devin's hurt and the doctors say give him a week, we're going to give him maybe a week and a half. How was that for you?
It's part of it. With my injury, it was a L4, L5 disc. And I've been playing well, like really well. I mean, you're talking 25 minutes a game. We were going small ball. So a lot of times I was playing the 4. And, when my back went out on me, because I wasn't listening to the trainers. I was like, no, I'm playing. I'm good. Yeah. There was one man that came in that locker room to talk to me. I'll never forget that. And, I was out. I was out for 2 or 3 weeks. I didn't win that battle. When he walked in the locker room, I didn't win that battle.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the point. The Spurs definitely want to make sure that their players are 100%, 110% healthy, as Devin just explained to you right there. And they have to override Devin. I mean, think about it too, Devin. Didn't they override even Tim Duncan? When he got her in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, I bet that
he had his uniform on. Yeah, he had his uniform on, and that same gentleman walked in there. Is like, I don't know what you're doing. Hey, he said, "Is it pitcher day? Because you're not going out there."
All right. Well, speedy recovery, Dylan Harper. Can't wait for you to get you back again. Before we leave, though, just one more time. Look at that, man. Let's look at that. Look at that, man. Get that.
The thing that I'm impressed with is those Nike shocks. They need to bring those back.
You know what? Yeah. Look at you, Devin, man. I got that. Look at that. You're trying to do the MJ pose there? Kind of looks like
I was trying. That's why I got 23 on there. That was my guy, MJ.
Look at that. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Wow. Duh. I should have known that. Yeah. 23. Yeah. MJ. Man, Devin. Who's that behind you? I can't. Is that who's number 2?
I was looking at that same thing. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was Kittles. It's not Kittles, that's for sure.
No, that's not Kittles. Kittles wore number 30.
30, that's right. Yeah, I don't know who that guy is. Hey, Locked On Spurs fans, help us out. Who's number 2 there in New Jersey? Look, he's just jealous at you, Devin. Look at that. He's like, man, look at this guy skying up for a dunk right now. Damn, in front of all these people here at that. I guess it was at the SBC Center still, right? That was the
SES. Yeah,
that was the SBC Center. All right, look at that. Well, there you go. Little flashback memory there for Mr. Devin Brown. Yes, he is Devin Brown. Once again, my teammate here at the Locked On Spurs family. Devin, we've been talking about it the whole show. Tell us about these post-game podcast live shows that you and Casey Vieira do.
Hey, Casey and I would just break it down. The good, the bad. But it's a chance to talk a little NBA basketball, obviously, with a former player in Casey. Casey does a great job, very knowledgeable of the game. We'd love to have you guys join us. Mike said, hey, 10 minutes after the game, you get to talk more Spurs basketball. So you can't go wrong with that.
Cannot go wrong with that. Again, the Locked On Spurs post-game podcast / YouTube live shows. Again, it's under the live tab. I keep getting that question a lot. Like, Jeff, how do you find it? Just go to the live tab. And while you're at it, subscribe to Locked On Spurs. That's probably your best way to get alerted. Because if you subscribe and you get the notifications, it'll notify you that Casey and Devin are live. Or it'll notice you that, hey, Jeff and in this case, Devin put out a Locked On Spurs, a mothership show. So, yeah, good stuff. But, Devin, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here on Locked On Spurs, taking us back through memory lane with that dunk, that MJS dunk we put up on the screen there.
Yeah, I think when you saw the Roadrunner shirt, the flashbacks came back and you flashed it. I love it. No problem. You need me, you know where I'm at. Always enjoy the show.
Thank you so much. Again, don't forget tonight, Devin and Casey will be live after the Lakers-Spurs game. It'll be late, so if you're up, go here to Locked On Spurs YouTube, click the live tab, That's where you'll find them. All right, that's tonight, so don't forget about that, everybody. And everybody else, we thank y'all for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Free and available wherever you get podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Ken5 Plus app, YouTube. Subscribe ASAP. We'll be back tomorrow as the Spurs season continues. Probably have a reaction to the vote that everybody's been talking about, Project Marvel. So we'll see what that came about and all that good stuff, and see where that stands. And of course, obviously, what's going on the court and so much more. So for Mr. Devin Brown, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.